So for this evening's practice, we're going to start on our stomachs in a pose called crocodile pose. So sometimes you can use the blanket to help cushion the hips a little bit. I like to just come all the way down to the belly, cross my arms one on top of the other, and rest my forehead on the forearms here. Take your feet a little bit wider. It helps if there's any pinching in the low back or anything that's a little uncomfortable. And maybe even rock the head from side to side here. Just massaging the forehead, helping to signal to the body that it's time to relax. So just taking a few breaths here, allowing yourself to settle into this crocodile pose. You might feel a little bit of settling in the low back. And I do like starting the practice in this pose as it does kind of symbolize our turning our backs to the world and turning our attention inward. This is also a nice place to just being more aware of the breath. As it's moving in and out through the body, as their chest and belly pressing into the floor, we're forcing the ribs and the back part of the ribs to expand a little bit more than usual as it makes room for the breath. We're going to stay here for quite a while as we allow the body to just settle into the mat here. And letting go of all the things that have already been going on so far today. So whether you're watching this video in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening, and just setting everything aside. If there's anything that you might still be holding on to from the last several days, it's time to let that go. It no longer serves you. And if you find yourself clenching the jaw, allow there to be a little space between the top and bottom teeth. And stay here for about 4 more full rounds of breath. And as you're ready, on the next inhale, we're going to draw the right leg up, feet pointing out to the outside, knee coming up towards your shoulders in this half frog pose. course, my hip today doesn't want to cooperate. So if you're like me, just make the adjustments that you need to make it most comfortable. Staying in here, staying in this pose for 3 more full rounds of breath. And on that exhale, send the foot down to meet the other one. And then we'll bend that knee, bringing it up towards your armpit, towards your ribs. Toes are pointing outward. The inner ankle is what's making contact with the floor. This pose might be very comfortable, or it might be feeling a little, you might be feeling some little twinges here or there in the body. Just make any adjustments. And just keep coming back to the breath. Three more rounds of breath here, please. And on the next exhale, send that foot back down to meet the other one. And we're just going to rock the hips from side to side. And then bending the legs at the knees. The feet are pointing up towards the sky. Let's do a reverse windshield wiper here. Feet going from one side and then the other. Just a little bit bigger than just the shaking the hips. Fantastic. From here, we're going to transition to a Sphinx pose. So again, if you would like to keep the feet a little bit wider, if there's any pinching in the low back. And here, the elbows will be underneath the shoulders, forearms and hands flat onto the mat. And you're reaching up towards the front end of the mat, maybe even off the mat. And then checking in with your back posture. Make sure that you're not dumping down into the shoulders. So pressing the elbows into the floor, getting a little back bend here, and then watch the neck. We don't want to crane it back, but keep the neck long and just in line with the spine. So your gaze is neutral towards the front end of the mat here. Paying attention to the low back, just take some deep breaths. See if you can let go of any places that you're holding on. If you're gripping with your buttocks, just see if you can release and let go. Feeling the pelvic girdle, the pubic bone pressing into the floor. The heart is starting to shine forward. We'll hold this Sphinx pose a little bit longer. 2 more full rounds of breath. So from here, we're going to transition to a seal pose. So if that does not feel comfortable in the back, return back to Sphinx. So with seal pose, we're going to just rotate the hands out. So we're just kind of like in a V here, maybe off to the front edges of your mat. Press into the hands, lifting up a little bit higher with the heart. Again, making sure that we're not cranking the neck back too far. If you feel the pinching in the low back, widen the feet. That helps a little bit. And make sure that you're not gripping or clenching your glutes here. And we don't want to sink into the shoulders like this, but that we're pushing away. A little bit more of a lift. We won't stay here as long, but a few more breaths. Just deepening the back bend. So crocodile pose was a very small back bend. Sphinx got a little bit deeper. And then coming into seal pose, we got just a little bit deeper. So one more breath here. And on the exhale, release back down to the floor. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders, pushing away. We're going to sink back so the big toes come together. And the sits bones are coming towards the heels. Now there's a couple places that we can go from here. You can take the knees wider and let the belly and the chest rest down into the floor. Let the forehead come all the way to the mat or to a block. Hands can stay reaching forward. You can bring them back to your side, whichever you prefer. And just staying with the breath a little bit longer. Continuing to feel the breath moving in and out of the back body. Let's take two more full rounds of breath. And with the next inhale, let's pushing ourselves into a tabletop position. So if the knees feel a little uncomfortable in this pose, you can easily bring a blanket underneath the knees or a pillow. I just want to be comfortable. So hands are underneath the shoulder, knees are underneath the hips, moving in and out through cat-cow. So as we inhale, lift the chin, lift the tailbone. And as we exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, round the spine. Inhale, arching the back. And exhale, rounding out the spine. Let your breath be your guide here, not waiting for me to cue, but that each time you inhale, you arch, and each time you exhale, you round. If you want to pause in either or both parts of the pose, feel free. Let's take two more breaths in this cat-cow pose. And we're going to change it up just a little bit from here after this last breath. We're going to start to add a little bit more dynamic movement into our practice, which will come up a couple times here. So walk the hands forward, maybe about a step, so that the hands are no longer just under the shoulders. So as we inhale, we're going to shift forward, lift the heart, lift the head. And as we exhale, shifting back almost to the child's pose, rounding out the back. So inhale, we shift forward. And exhale, we shift back. Just taking a few more breaths like this. And two more. Perfect. Come back into your neutral tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And let's lift the feet and just windshield wiper them from side to side again. A little bit more hip action here. So it's really nice when you've got the blanket underneath your knees to get that shake back and forth. Let's tuck the toes. And with the next inhale, lift the hips up towards the sky. Ears come down between the biceps and just pedal it out one knee at a time. We're not going to stay here for very long. This is a very gentle practice. We're just using this down dog as a transition, which now we'll walk our hands back towards our feet, coming into your version of a standing forward fold. So I'm just turning the other direction here. So the feet can be as wide as you like. Fingertips can be resting on the floor or on a block. You can grab elbows and bend the knees as much as you want, even sway from side to side. Beautiful. Release the hands, fingertips down towards the floor. With the next inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold forward. Let's inhale again, halfway. And this time on the exhale, hold the pose. Inhale again. And with this exhale, we'll fold forward again. And now reverse swan dive. Reach the arms out and up, reaching up towards the sky. Palms come together, gaze towards your hands. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Let's do a couple of these. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Lifting halfway on the inhale. Exhale, folding. Reverse swan dive, come all the way back up. Palms reaching up towards the sky. Hands come to heart center. Let's do 3 more rounds of these on your own, at your own pace. Let your breath set the pace for the movement. And if you're practicing in the chair today, you can do these seated in the chair. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Lift halfway. Exhale, release. Reverse swan dive. Arms reach out and up. Palms come together. And hands rest at heart center. 2 more. When you bring yourself all the way back up to standing, we're going to find our mountain pose. Our hands are going to rest down by our sides. 4 corners of the feet grounding into the floor. Roll the shoulders back, engage the belly. And just coming into a nice strong mountain pose. All right. And with the next inhale, let's reach the arms up. And one hand can gently grab the other wrist and pull yourself over to one side for a side bend. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, coming back into the side bend. Another dynamic movement. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, leaning over. And one more. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, coming back over. We'll bring ourselves back into center. Switch hands. Exhale, going in the other direction. Inhale. And exhale, releasing. Inhale to center. Exhale, releasing. One more. Inhale, back up. And exhale, over to the side. And we'll inhale, reach the arms up. Both arms, fingertips reach towards the sky. Exhale, release down. So we're going to grab our strap or our dish towel or our scarf. So if you're using a strap, you're just going to grab it so far apart using the dish towel. So what we're going to do is bring our hands back behind us. And just, we don't want the hands. So if grabbing both, grabbing your hands, holding them behind your back is accessible, I still don't want you to do that. I want you to still use the strap or the towel. Maybe the hands are a little closer. We just don't want them too far apart, but not where we're holding them close. Sliding the shoulder blades down. We just want a gentle stretch here. Yes, we can do more, maybe, but it's not necessary. So it's just standing with those soft knees. Let's drop one ear to one shoulder. Make sure that you're not pulling the shoulder up, but reaching it over. This is just a really nice gentle stretch. If you're working at a desk or maybe leaning over, I used to have a school teacher that this would feel really good for because she was always leaning over her little kindergartners. And so we just want to make a little bit of room between the ear and the shoulder. And this is just something you can do at your desk. All right, let's drop the chin down to the chest. Feel the length in the back of the spine. Feel the weight coming towards the forehead. And then roll the other ear to the other shoulder. I'm staying here for a couple more breaths. Perfect. Drop the chin down to the chest and just gently roll ear to shoulder, drawing a big smiley face across the chest. Fantastic. And bring the head back up into center neutral. We're going to bring the arms around front and holding the strap or the dish towel, maybe widening your hands a little bit more. So we'll inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, lower the hands back down in front. Inhale, lifting and reaching. And exhale, lowering. If you would like, with the next inhale, bring the hands back, maybe taking the hands a little bit further behind you and bringing it back forward. Let's just do 2 more of these. Inhale, reaching up and back, and exhale, down. Last one. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, lowering it back down. You can toss your strap or your dish towel off to the side. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up, palms come together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Let's walk the hands out. Find your down dog. You can stay here for a couple breaths. You can pedal it out 1 knee at a time, or you can come all the way down to hands and knees. Maybe take about 3 cat-cows here. Lots of choices. There's just no one right way to do everything. So sometimes just finding what works for you is the best direction to go. And when you've finished, we're going to meet up in a comfortable seated position. So I'm going to grab my blanket or a couple of blankets. If you've got pillows and you want to sit on that. Why do I like to sit on a blanket when I'm practicing yoga and I'm seated? Sitting on the blanket gets my hips a little bit higher than my knees, makes it a little bit more comfortable. It improves your posture. It's just something to play with. So just coming to whatever's your comfortable sit. So if cross-legged is your jam today, or if you want to send one leg out or in, feel free. You can sit however you're most comfortable. All right, we're going to roll the shoulders up to the ears. Pull them all the way up. And then send the shoulders back. So like the shoulder blades are coming towards each other on the spine. Holding it there for a couple more breaths. You get like a little knot in your upper back and in your shoulder area. This is your go-to. And then slide the shoulders down. Not even taking a full circle here. Inhale, pull the shoulders up to the ears. Send them back. Bring those shoulder blades towards each other on the spine. Hold them for another breath. And exhale. Let it go all the way down. Let's just do 3 more of those. It's just a very slow motion. Very intense shoulder roll. But it really just helps to get the knots that come into the upper back. Shrugging them up. Sending them back. And down. And 1 more, please. Inhale, lifting. And rolling down. Fantastic. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, interlace the fingertips, And we're going to bring those hands back behind the head. So we want to make sure that we're not pulling the head forward, but very gently pushing the head into the back, into the palms of the hands, the back of the head into the palms of the hands. And when we inhale, we're going to send the elbows back a little bit further. And on the exhale, round it out. Elbows come towards each other, rounding out the spine. Inhale, lifting and expanding, elbows open wide. Exhale, bringing it all together. Inhale, lifting and arching. Exhale, rounding it out. Let's do this 5 more times. Inhale. Exhale, closing. 4. 3. 2. And last one. Opening out. I'm going to one more time. Open up the elbows. You don't need to send them as far back, but just having an upright spine. And we're going to tilt to one side. Come back into the center and tilt to the other side. I'm just doing this a couple times each side. And coming back up into center. Let's shake out the arms. And we're going to match a little bit of breath with movement here. We're going to inhale, lift our hands, fingertips are pointing down to the ground like we're paintbrushing the sky. Exhale, flip the palms up, coming down. Inhale, fingertips are pointing towards the ground as we lift the arms and the wrists. And on the exhale, fingertips point towards the sky. We're lowering the wrists back down. Do this for 3 more breaths. Inhale, paintbrush. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lifting. It's going to just be very soothing and calming too for the nervous system. I love matching the breath with movement here in such just a slow and gentle way. It's almost like a little dance, right? Awesome. Let's give our wrists and arms a little bit more attention. So give me a stop sign with the right hand, and we're going to very gently pull the fingertips back towards the body. So you might feel a stretch in the palm of the hand, the heel of the hand, the wrists, the forearms. And if you like, maybe you want to explore this a little bit. I like to take one finger at a time, maybe massage out the knuckles as I'm pulling it back, very gently. Start at the base of the finger, sliding up, just massaging those knuckle joints as I'm pulling the fingers back gently, not trying to overstretch. But this feels really nice if you've got some achy knuckle joints, some achy hands. And now point the fingers back down, and we're going to try to push them up towards the forearm here. So you're going to probably feel some sensation here. If you have carpal tunnel, this is going to feel a little sticky, but this is really good for you. Just be very gentle. Monitor. We're not doing a no pain, no gain thing, right? We just want to be gentle. So take it to the other hand, pulling back the 4 fingers, stretching out the hand, the wrists, the forearms. And we're going to take one knuckle at a time, or one finger at a time, massaging out the fingers and the knuckles as we gently pull everything back. And then pointing the fingertips down, we're going to curl them up under towards the forearms. Release and shake it out. You're doing fantastic. Grab a drink of water if you need to. Otherwise, just come back into some just regular shoulder rolls for yourself. And if you like to go in both directions, feel free to reverse the directions. We're going to come into a pose called Janu Shirshasana. So if you have sensitive knee joints, you might, I'm going to pull out my blanket here. You might want to take a blanket or a small pillow or a small block and maybe put it underneath the knee here so that the leg isn't going to be completely straight on one side. So I'm starting with my left leg forward. My right leg is bent. The foot is on the inside of the thigh. You decide what's best for you. Just having this blanket here helps keep the knee from hyperextending. So let's point and flex the toes. All right, let's draw some circles in the air with the toes. Go the other direction. And just let that heel rest onto the floor. I like to kind of keep my toes, my ankles, my feet flexed just a little bit. It does kind of help with the knee joints a little bit, but you do what feels good for you. And we're going to start with this forward fold in a more dynamic sense again. So sometimes we might not be completely warmed up and ready to take a full on extension forward fold. So just doing the dynamic like we're going to do kind of helps open up the muscles a little bit more gradually. Makes the body just relax a little more. So we'll inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And on the exhale, hinging forward. Hands reaching forward. And with the next inhale, coming back up to seated. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, coming back up. This is the third one. Exhale, folding forward. 4, coming back up. And same as we exhale, see if you can send the hands out a little bit further past the foot or towards the foot. Inhale, coming back. So we got to lengthen the spine. And with this last one, we're going to fold forward and stay. So make sure that you're tilting the pelvic cup forward a little bit more. So we're not hinging at the hips and staying in place, but that we're coming forward with the collarbone, finding length in the back, and the hands can rest on the toes. They can rest on the shin, the knees, wherever you feel most comfortable. Chin can rest on the chest, and staying here in this forward fold for a while. So this is a good time to come back to the breath, feeling the breath moving in and out of the back body. Feel those back ribs expanding again with each inhale. Making sure that we're not clenching our teeth or scrunching our shoulders. You might even find yourself giving in a little bit more to go a little deeper into the fold, or you might find yourself needing to pull back out. I'm going to stay in this forward fold for just a little while longer, maybe another minute. Playing with any small moments here, whether you want to adjust yourself a little deeper or pulling back. You might want to change where you're resting the hands. And let's take 3 more breaths here. And with the next inhale, return yourself to an upright seated position. If you have a blanket underneath your knee, pull that out. And let's slide that foot back to meet the other foot. We're not going to do a whole lot here, just checking in with the posture. So those feet are coming towards each other, whether the heels are close to the body or not. Let's play with the feet here a little bit. This is a good time to do a little foot inspection. If you're diabetic or pre-diabetic or have any other issues where you might need to double check your feet, make sure that there isn't any cuts or injuries that you should be aware of that maybe you just didn't notice that were there before. And always a good time for a little foot massage. As I say, let's play with the feet. And also just playing with maybe opening up the feet, turning the soles of the feet towards the ceiling a little bit more. I always think I'm just opening up a book and just seeing if we can open up the feet a little bit more. Just noticing how that feels. All right, fantastic. We're going to send the right leg or the other leg, whichever one you didn't do before. And again, if you want to place that blanket underneath the knee for a little extra support, feel free. And we're going to pull the toes back and point them away, just flexing and pointing the feet, the toes of that extended leg. And draw a circle in the air with the toes if you like. And going the other direction. All right, we're going to take those dynamic folds here. Inhale, reach the arms up, nice long spine, but you feel the sits bones rooting into the floor beneath you. Exhale, coming forward. Inhale, lift and reach. And exhale, hinging at the hips, coming forward. So make sure that you are keeping the back as straight as you can. Inhale, coming up. This is 3. Exhale, fold. See if the fingers can reach a little bit further forward. Inhale, up. 4. Exhale, folding forward. Have the heart coming forward a little bit more. And this is our last dynamic fold. Inhale, reaching up. And on the exhale, we're going to hinge and fold forward. Find your most comfortable resting place. Chin can rest on the chest. Hands can rest wherever it's most comfortable. Feel the breath moving in and out of the back body. Staying with your breath, making any adjustments, maybe going deeper, maybe pulling back. I'm going to stay here for about 1 more minute. Maybe explore some different adjustments. Let's take 3 more full rounds of breath here. And when you're ready, inhale, coming back up to a seated position. You can pull that blanket out, bring that leg in, soles of the feet towards each other, touching if it's comfortable, and just butterfly the knees here, up and down. We're going to make our way down to our backs. So maybe have the things, we're not going into Shavasana yet, but maybe have the things that will make your Shavasana more comfortable. I always like to have a blanket nearby, maybe for a pillow or to cover up. Maybe you have an eye pillow. Maybe you want to go ahead and dim the lights now before you settle all the way down so that you don't have to jump back up again. So coming on to flat back, bending the legs at the knees, feet flat onto the floor. And we're just going to gently windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Just a nice little massage in the low back. So if you're still gathering things or you're still adjusting the lights, no worries. We'll stay here for a little while until you get here with us. If you're just making it down to the floor, it's fine. We're going to send the left leg long and straight and draw the right knee into the chest, almost like we did at the beginning of the practice. And just gently move the leg from side to side, the movement coming right from the hip socket, just side to side. And from here, maybe a full circle in the air with the knee. Go the other direction. My hip always pops when I do this, and it's quite nice actually. All right. I'm going to send that foot down to meet the other one. Just take a little pause here, flat back. And we're going to draw the other knee into the chest and take it from side to side. Draw those circles in the air with the knee. And take the circles in the other direction. All right. Send that foot down and meet the other one. We're going to draw both knees into the chest. Maybe rock from side to side. Massage in the back. And from here, let's drop both knees to one side. Let the knees and the ankles stack on top of each other. So if you find that it's pulling the shoulder up off the floor, maybe taking a pillow or a folded up blanket or a block or a bolster and sticking it underneath the bottom knee. So you will find that that will send that shoulder down towards the floor. Or another option is to bring it between the knees. Whichever you prefer. I like it under. And again, it can be the blanket if you like. It can be as high as you need it to be. Take your gaze out to the opposite hand. Arms are out to a T. And take your gaze in the opposite direction of the knees. And you're going to really take a moment here to notice if you are holding on anywhere in the body. So in these twists, we tend to grip a little bit in the body, holding on, seeing if we can let that go. Deep breaths into the belly. There's just a little poem here called The Twist. The Swami in the twist reminds me that I rise up from my roots, find guidance in my gut, face forward, gaze back. The Swami in the twist reminds me to be where I am, but honor where I was and forgive it. And just like that little visualization with that poem there. I'm just taking a few more deep breaths in our twists. So you are the Swami here. Your body is the Swami. Your body is the guru, telling you where to go, what to do. And stay here for 3 more breaths. With the next inhale, draw the knees back into the chest, coming back onto flat back, maybe rock from side to side one more time. And we'll drop the knees to the other side, setting up blankets, the bolsters, the blocks, whatever support we need. Arms out to a T. Gaze over to the hand, the opposite side of the knees. Just take some full inhales, long, slow exhales, noticing if there's any parts of the body that are tensing up. And releasing the shoulders, releasing the arms, releasing the jaw, wherever you can. I like the idea of the twist taking us forward while being in the presence, while looking back. Like, that's what I think of that with the twist. And just all of it coming together into this here and now. Oh, my shirt is tickling my chin, and I thought it just kept feeling like something was on my face. Deep breaths into the belly. A little bit longer here. And 2 more breaths. And with the next inhale, roll back onto the back, draw the knees into the chest, massaging it out from side to side. And go ahead and lower the feet down to the floor. The knees are still bent, heels are coming towards the torso. And we'll windshield wiper those knees from side to side again. Now maybe widen the feet just a little bit. I'm going to drop the knees to one side. So I'm dropping them to the left side, so I'm going to walk my right foot out just a little bit, just to the outer hip area, so that the hip socket and the knee are more in line. You're going to feel a little bit more of a quad stretch here, a stretch in the front of the thigh. So just walking the foot out sideways a little bit here. And feel some activation in the front of the leg. But if it's uncomfortable in the knee, walk that foot back in. We want to just find where we're stretching the front of the leg, but not causing any pain or discomfort anywhere else in the body. It's real hard to get a good stretch there in the quads. And then come back up into center. We'll walk our feet the other direction. Drop the knees to the other side. And we're going to walk this foot out so that you feel the activation in the top of the thigh. So where it feels like the foot is coming way out, the knee is really in line with the hip here. And stay here for 3 more breaths. And then walking the feet back in, bringing the knees back up so that the heels are coming out from the sits bones. Knees are pointing towards the sky. Hands just down by your hips. We're going to take a very small movement here in the low back. So as we inhale, press the tailbone into the floor. You'll feel that little bit of the arch lifting, but we're not really lifting anything off the floor. And on the exhale, tuck the tailbone under, point it up towards the sky, lower belly pushes down towards the floor. So as we inhale, tailbone pushes into the floor, you feel the arch. Exhale, pushing the lower back down towards the floor, lifting the tailbone. So just a gentle cat-cow movement. It's a very small movement. Don't try to overdo it. We're just rocking the pelvis forward. And on the exhale, rocking the pelvis back. It's just a small hip movement here. Very nice. It's all lower back, lower abdominals. You can go as fast or slow as you like. I just like matching the breath with movement here. I feel like it really massages out the low back, so we'll just do this one more time here. Beautiful. All right. We have landed ourselves into our final resting pose. So if you want to take your Shavasana flat back, all the way down, arms and legs, just relax it down towards the floor. That's great. Another option is to take your rolled blanket. You can cover up with it. You can use it as a pillow. You can put it underneath the knees for that extra knee support again. Whichever you like. I think I'm going to use a little pillow this time. You can even place it underneath the hips. Or if you're close to a wall like I am and want to swing your legs around and put them up on the wall or maybe on the seat of a chair. Just whatever makes you the most comfortable. And heck, if you're home and you've got the sofa nearby, feel free to curl up on the sofa. That's perfectly fine too. You can Shavasana there. But wherever you are, feeling yourself just relaxing as best you can. Melting into the surface that's supporting you. Eyes are closed. Eyes roll back away from the eyelids. Notice the breath moving in and out of the body. As you scan the body from head to toe, noticing if there's any places where you might still be holding on to any little bit of tension. If you find any tension in your body, imagine sending your breath to that particular body part. Send love to any places in your body where you might have some pain, limitation, or emotional injury. Feeling the back of your head settling into the surface beneath you. Maybe even rock the head gently from side to side for just a moment. Feeling that connection. Softening the crown of the head. Softening your forehead. Softening the eyebrows. Smoothing out the space between the eyebrows. Soften the temples and the cheeks. And unhinge the jaw. Feel your body melting down towards the mat, towards the surface beneath you. Allowing the surface to support you. You cannot fall. Feeling the arms getting heavier. Feeling the weight of the arms connecting into the floor beneath you. widening and releasing the muscles in the back so that as you exhale, you feel yourself melting in a little bit deeper. Feeling the breath entering and exiting the body, chest rising, ribs expanding, belly filling. Feeling the legs getting heavy, feeling the weight of the legs connecting to the surface beneath you. Just stay here in stillness for a little while longer, just feeling the breath moving in and out of the body, releasing any thoughts or distractions. Release yourself into this pose, receive the flow of this moment. Begin bringing your attention back into the room with deeper breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And flexing your wrists and your ankles, maybe drawing circles in the air. Turning your head to one side and then the other, lowering the cheeks to the floor. Draw both knees into the chest, or maybe take a long stretch, whichever you prefer. Making your way to one side or the other. Cradling your head in the crook of your arms, your knees stacked on top of each other. And from here, just taking a pause to thank yourself for making the time for this practice. Very gently, very carefully as you're ready, push your hands into the floor and bring yourself back to an upright seated position. Finding whatever's most comfortable for you in this moment. Let's share a breath. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead or gaze toward palms as we bring them together. Exhaling, hands to heart center, eyes closed, head slightly bowed. Thanking you so much for sharing this practice with me in this moment. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free. And may we all live in peace. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this gentle practice with me today. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye.